Hi everybody, I'm Cripeman, and it's been 9 months since my last tutorial.
Hey, great man.
Uh, Welcome to another career tutorial, guys. I am Cripeman, and it's been 9 months since my last tutorial. I want to apologize. That was all on me. I broke my last computer, and yeah, it was pretty hairy, and it was on me. I tried to change the battery out, and then I tried to fix it. So here we are, 9 months later, and I'm doing this. So I've been itching to get back in the saddle and learn and teach a couple of things. So I'm back. Hi. Thanks for pointing people my way. I'm still getting hits on my stuff, even though I haven't, excuse me, done anything. So thanks for pointing people my way. Right now I'm getting everything set up for what we're getting ready to do. What we're going to do is we're going to do bevels. And bevels are a very cool way to make a simple shape more interesting. We like right here we have a simple square that we've dropped into our spline modeler, and spline modeler is a kind of a weird little animal. It has its own little way that it does its magic. It has its own interface, its own tools, that kind of thing, and they're very cool tools. Now you notice that when I click on the points, a dialog comes up for points. That's what these are, point dialogs. And then you do this on the shape, and the shape dialog comes up, and there's multiple things that you can do with it. We're not going to even mess with that part of it. We are going to play with the bevels though. Let's do a front face bevel and see what's going on here. We got a front face bevel, and it's already more interesting just from the little crease that it has in it. Notice that? Or better yet, let's do this. And did you know that you could manipulate your camera from your spline modeler right here? So if you're wanting to kind of see how everything is in relation to each other, you can do that. All right, but if you notice down at the bottom, there's a nice little bevel. Makes it just a little more interesting, and yay for that. Now, if you want to adjust this, you can adjust it along your in your dialog boxes. You can do them like one, kapow. See that? And if you add any kind of, if you have the bevel at all, it makes an intermediate point along your spline. Alright? And if you don't have your bevel on, it doesn't. When you turn your bevel on, we do have the dot on, and you notice how you can manipulate this right along your shape, which is good. That's what we want. This, you can't really tell that much. Let's go ahead and give this a little, pump it up a little bit. We've got 1 foot right here. Let's do a height of 1 foot, and that's pretty dramatic. See that? This is your rectangle, and it's becoming more interesting. It'll render more interesting and all that fun stuff just with a simple bevel. Let's go ahead and just undo that. Bring that back there, and let's make it -1. -1. Kapow. And see, it becomes more interesting that way. Oh, where am I at? You know it. There we go. And see how it has become a more interesting shape just with your bevel. Let's go ahead and jump over here again, and let's look at the other bevels. Now this is a nice little thing. This is a neat little tool and a handy little thing to have. But did you know that you could also do the curvy ones? This doesn't look all that curvy, actually. No, grab the wrong handles. Doesn't look all that curvy. Whenever it goes in here, you see how the shape has turned out over here. It's pretty much what we want. But you notice when we clicked on this curvy one, the curve bevel, I guess. Uh, it added envelopes on the outside of your spline. The envelopes control the outer edge of your model. And see how you can play with this stuff and just make cool things, coolish things. I mean, it's, you know, we're not going for anything too big or artsy, but you can go big and artsy, bigger and artsier if you want to. That's your curve bevel, and it does pretty cool stuff. Now you notice that one of the things that helps this whole process along, helps this whole process along, are your Bezier handles, your Bezier curves, your Bezier handles, your handles, whatever you want to call them. Let's go ahead and look at creating shapes and objects. You have cross sections and extrusion paths, blah, 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 blah. Control points, handles, extending from each vertex, determine the curvature of the path segments. You know, that's the first time of my reading it. And that's, I don't know. It basically, what it does, what your handles do is they help control the Bezier curve. I don't know what Bezier is. Didn't go to school for it, so I never did really look it up. I just automatically understood that, you know, your Bezier curves were your curves that just, you know, had some real cool swoopy swoops to them. And swoopy swoops is what was the technical term that I actually used. See that? See how neat that is? Kapow. And yeah, you have really good options for, you know, making your shapes look cool. Let's go back in here. And we ain't going to play around with this stuff too much, but we're going to play around a little bit. So finally getting a chance to do this again. Change this around, and now you have, when you have your cutaway or your inward one, actually I think, no, maybe I'm thinking something else. Come on, bro. Make your shapes more interesting this way. Yeah, see, we've got a pylon. Let's see. Jump over here. You got your little curvy one, and I could have sworn that you could do stuff with this. Just move it around, huh? And you notice that that the envelopes for your spline, or for your envelope for your object is it'll help control the shape if you have, it's at a point here. What's up? That's right. Go here. Since you put a point on there, you got a point on there, and now you can do other things with it if you need to. Let's smooth that point. Kapow! See that? Now it's become kind of a bullet-looking thing. Bulletish. There are a whole bunch of other options, and this is just one face on here. I don't think I've added any more faces, but I'm going to now. Let's create a section. Create a face. Kapow! You notice you expected it to be here because there's no other faces, but when you create a face, when you create a section, it goes by the number of points along your spline. And I really got terrible color for this part of it, but you see where your points are on your spline? Kapow, right? Let's go up here. Let's create another one. Kapow, and you can create multiple if you want, but I don't want to do that. Create. And that should cover them all. Now let's go ahead and go over here and put a, there we go. Let's go ahead and put a bevel on this bad boy and change the bevel. Now you have multiple bevels, and that's cool. You can do that. Do anything you want to, man. It's Carrera. Alright? Well, I'm glad everybody's been checking me out. I noticed My name was mentioned once or twice on the message boards, and I appreciate that. I haven't had the means to check the message boards and say hey or answer questions, which will be probably next on my agenda, but it'll be, I don't know, probably maybe not. Got a lot of catch up to do. But the more you play with this, the more interesting your shape can be. Is basically what I'm saying. Your bevels are an unsung hero to the program. All right. There's good things to be had in your bevels and in your spline modeler. I'm probably do some more spline modeler tutorials. You know, this is an old technology, and I hope they don't get rid of it because it is really, really handy. Us old timers know that. But anyway, that's pretty much your bevels. Play with your bevels, get to know them a little bit. Play in your spline modeler and get to know it a little bit. There's some cool things that can be done without a whole lot of actual modeling knowledge. All right. So anyway, that's pretty much it. That's it for this time. I'm Cripeman, and I'll talk to you again later. Bye.